We've all seen them, those terrible mobile game ads where a level 1 crook becomes a level 100 boss, and the gameplay looks completely fake. When I saw Money Simulator Brokeville pop up on Steam, free to play, Unity assets everywhere, weird name, I thought here we go again, another clickbait cash grab. But then I played it, and I kept playing it, and 3 hours later I realized something terrifying. This game might actually be good. Is Brokeville a disaster, or is it the deepest free Tycoon game we've seen all year? Let's find out. Welcome back to JaeTeeGames, and today we're doing a deep dive into a game that is confusing the heck out of me. It's called Money Simulator Brokeville, and it is technically the free prologue to a larger upcoming title. Now usually when we cover simulators on this channel, we're looking at specialized titles, we're scanning groceries in Supermarket Simulator, or we're flipping houses in House Flipper. But this game promises to let you do everything. It's a sandbox life sim where the only goal is to stop being poor. Before we get into the grind, and believe me, there is a grind, I want to mention that games like this are exactly why we launched the Cozy Club collection. If you're going to be sitting at your desk for hours grinding delivery missions, you might as well be comfortable. I'm rocking the Cozy Club hoodie right now, and if you want to grab the mug to keep your coffee warm during those long simulation sessions, check the link in the description. It's the best way to support the channel and stay cozy while we judge this game. Let's address the elephant in the room immediately. Visually, this game screams Unity asset flip. For those who don't know, an asset flip is when a developer buys a bunch of pre-made models from the Unity store, generic cities, generic cars, generic people, throws them together and calls it a game without adding any real code or soul. When you first load into Brokeville, you get that vibe. The UI is rough, the font looks like it was chosen in 5 seconds, the NPCs have that dead-eyed stare that haunts my nightmares. If I was judging this book by its cover, I would have uninstalled it in 10 minutes, but my job here is to dig deeper so you don't have to. And what I found underneath this generic surface is surprisingly competent mechanics. It's like finding a gourmet burger wrapped in a dirty napkin. It looks suspicious, but the flavor is there. Let's talk about the early game, the rags part of rags to riches. In a lot of these games, you start with a magical loan or a surprisingly well-equipped garage. In Brokeville, you are actually destitute, you have zero cash, you are hungry, and you need to work. There are a few ways to play this. You could try to gamble, you could try to be a criminal, but I decided to play this realistically. If I was actually in this city, I wouldn't go straight to the casino, I'd get a job. The Bicycle of Doom, my journey started with Deliveries, and this introduces us to the game's physics engine, which I can only describe as hilariously hostile. You are given a bicycle, this bicycle is your lifeline, it is also your worst enemy. The physics are floaty and heavy at the same time, you're pedaling your heart out trying to get a package across town, and if you hit a curb at the wrong angle, you're launching into the stratosphere. I spent more time picking myself up off the pavement than I did actually delivering packages in the first hour, and honestly, I kind of love it. We forgive it because it's funny, it adds a layer of slapstick comedy to what would otherwise be a boring fetch quest. Once I'd scraped some cash together, I moved on to the supermarket job. This is where the game starts to hook you. If you've played Supermarket Simulator, you know the drill, restocking shelves, managing inventory. It's simple, repetitive work, but there is a rhythm to it. Pick up the box, walk to the shelf, place the item, see the number go up. I found myself falling into a trance, and this is where the podcast gamer appeal kicks in. This is the perfect game to play where you're catching up on a podcast or watching a video on a second monitor. It demands your time, but not 100% of your brain power. So I'm delivering boxes, I'm stocking shelves, and I'm thinking, okay, this is fine, but is that it? And this is where Brokeville pulls the rug out from under you. This isn't just a walking simulator, it's a collection of other simulators masked as one game. I eventually saved enough money to buy a junk moped. I expected to just click a button that said repair. Nope, the game shifts into a full-blown mechanic mode. You're unscrewing bolts, removing rust, painting individual panels. It's as deep as a dedicated car mechanic simulator, no, obviously not, but for a free game that also lets you run a supermarket and trade crypto, the depth here is shocking. Then I bought a house. Again, I expected a simple menu. Instead, I'm placing furniture, painting walls, and customizing the layout. It feels like a light version of House Flipper. This is the diamond in the rough aspect I mentioned earlier. The developers didn't just code a money number going up, they coded actual interactive systems for how you earn that money. It respects the player's intelligence, It assumes you want to do the work, not just watch a progress bar. Let's get educational for a second. If you are a min-maxer, someone who loves optimization, you need to know about the pacing. I chose the safe route for this review, the slow grind, and honestly the pacing is slow, but in a good way. In a lot of bad Tycoon games, you hit an exponential curve too early, you make $10, then $100, and suddenly you're making $1 million a second and the game becomes boring because money loses its meaning. Brokeville fights you for every dollar. Because the economy is tighter, every upgrade feels massive. When you finally upgrade from the bicycle to a cheap sedan, you feel like a king. When you can finally afford to automate your shop so you don't have to work the register, you feel like a CEO. If you're playing this, here is my advice. Don't specialize too early. The game rewards you for diversifying. Use the delivery money to fund the car flipping, use the car flipping profits to buy the real estate. If you stick to just one job, the grind will feel tedious. If you rotate your tasks, the gameplay loop stays fresh. It effectively stops you from getting bored by letting you change professions whenever you want, without losing your progress. We're going to talk about the things I hated about this game in a second, because there are some things that really annoyed me. But if you're enjoying this deep dive and you want to see more honest reviews of simulation games, consider becoming a member of the channel. Members get early access to videos, exclusive badges, and it really helps me grab these weird games to review for you. And if you're not ready to join, just hitting that like button tells YouTube that you enjoy long-form honest reviews and not just 10-minute hype videos. Okay, let's talk about the bad stuff. I said this game was a diamond in the rough, now we have to talk about the rough. The biggest sin this game commits is in the user interface. It is clunky, sometimes unresponsive, and sometimes makes no sense. My biggest gripe? The time. In a game where shops close at certain hours and energy is tied to the day-night cycle, knowing the time is crucial. So why do I have to press a button to raise my arm, look at a watch, squint at the tiny hands and then put my arm down, or open a clunky phone menu? Developers, if you are watching this, just put the clock in the corner of the screen. Immersion is great, but not when it becomes a chore. I don't want to stop walking just to see if the supermarket is open. It's a small thing, but over a 4-hour session, pressing that check watch button 500 times drove me insane. And then there's the jank. We already talked about the bicycle physics, but it extends to everything. NPCs will walk through your car, boxes will sometimes glitch into the floor, sometimes you click on an item to buy it and nothing happens. Is it game breaking? No. I never had a crash that deleted my save. Is it annoying? Yes. You have to go into this game with a Unity asset flip mindset. You have to be willing to laugh at the bugs, not get angry at them. If you're the type of person who needs AAA polish like Forza or Red Dead Redemption, stay far away from Brokeville. This town is held together by duct tape and dreams. So we have a game that is ugly, janky, and sometimes slow. We also have a game that is deep, varied, and weirdly satisfying. So who is this actually for? I think Money Simulator Brokeville hits two very specific types of gamers. If you're like me and you chose option B, the safe grind, this is audiobook heaven. It is low stakes, high repetition gaming. It's relaxing in a weird way. You turn your brain off, you see numbers go up, you feel productive. But if you love figuring out the most efficient way to exploit a system, there is gold here. The market prices fluctuate, the crypto market is volatile. You can sit down with a notepad and calculate the exact profit margin of repairing a sedan versus a hatchback. If you don't fit into those two categories, if you want a story-driven narrative or high-octane action, you'll probably be bored playing this game. Here is the bottom line. Right now, Money Simulator Brokeville is free. That is the most important context. If this game cost $20, I would be much harsher on the UI and the graphics, but for $0, it's an absolute steal. It offers more content in its free prologue than some $10 games I've played on Steam. It's a clickbait killer. It looks like trash, but it plays like a passion project. It proves that you don't need 4K graphics or motion captured acting to make a fun game. You just need a solid gameplay loop and a sense of progression. I give it a solid thumbs up with a caveat. Play it for the mechanics, not the looks, and bring your own patience. If you're going to download Brokeville and attempt the grind, let me know in the comments, are you going the safe route or the risky route? I want to know who in the community is going broke and who is getting rich. And listen, if you're going to spend the next weekend grinding this game, do it in style. The Cozy Club merch is live, the hoodies are soft, the mug holds a lot of coffee, and it's the best way to rep the JaeTeeGames community. I've got it link pinned in the description. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see us find more hidden gems like this. We play the weird ones so you don't have to. I'm JT, this is JaeTeeGames, and I'll see you in the next one.